हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू क्वांटिफायर्स। सो अब सब हम जानते हैं कि हम सब कैट 2026 की तैयारी करना शुरू कर रहे हैं, जिसके लिए VARC एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट है। एंड आई फील लाइक स्टूडेंट्स को हमेशा VARC में टेंशन होती है, हम रीडिंग नहीं करते, हम पढ़ना नहीं होता, सिर्फ हमने टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ी है, वी आर नॉट सो मच इनटू रीडिंग, वी आर नॉट वोरेशियस रीडर। सो स्टूडेंट्स आर रियली टेंस अबाउट हाउ टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बेसिक। मैथ्स का बेसिक होता है, लेकिन इंग्लिश का रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का क्या बेसिक्स होता है? So every time we feel that the students come up with a lot of queries about VARC section. So in this video, we actually try to help students on how to actually build the foundation of VARC section of CAT in a very methodological, very basic step-by-step things that what we do as an institute to help you to take through your VARC section in the more effective and an efficient manner, so that you are in case अगर आपको साइंस के बच्चे हो और अगर आपको कॉमर्स का कुछ पैसेज आ रहा है, या आप कॉमर्स के बच्चे हो और आपके लिए बायोलॉजी का कोई पैसेज आ रहा है, या पैरा समरी कैसे करना है, पैरा जंबल्स कैसे करना है, सो वी आर गोइंग टू एक्चुअली टेक यू थ्रू दिस, दैट हाउ एज अ इंस्टीट्यूट we are offering our best to take you through all the things in a very basic manner, so that you don't get pressurized कि इतना technical चीजें हैं, कैसे होगा, कैसे करेंगे. So with this note, let's actually get into this particular video, that is cracking CAT VARC with quantifiers. So what as a quantifiers we believe is that we treat every student is almost on the same parallels. Okay, मतलब हम ये नहीं assume करते कि आपको बहुत सब है. See, in case if you're a voracious reader, definitely you owe that particular right of getting into this reading comprehension and getting your answers correct. Okay, but अगर आप basic हो, अगर आपने अपने स्कूल की टेक्स्ट बुक्स के अलावा या फिक्शन नॉवेल्स के अलावा अगर कुछ नहीं पढ़ा है, so we keep everything into consideration, we keep every type of the student into consideration, and our course curriculum is designed in such a manner so that it is beneficial to the student who are into the reading, okay, and also to those students who are just starting with reading something other than their own school textbook. Okay, so what we believe with the quantifiers is a skill based strategy driven approach to mastering verbal ability and reading comprehension. So let's see what is there in the CAT VARC. So in case probably you have just थॉट ऑफ कि अब कैट करना है, हमें ये नहीं पता कैट में आता क्या है, हमें ग्रामर करना है, हमें वोकैबुलरी करनी है, हमें रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, हमने नाम सुना है रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, लेकिन रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में आता क्या है, व्हाट आर द बेसिक फाउंडेशन जो हमें उस पर काम करना है. So this is how the sectional breakdown of the CAT looks like, of the VARC section in a CAT looks like. So VARC is divided into two components, as the name itself is self-explanatory. So VA is a verbal ability and RC is a reading comprehension. Okay. So what I love to call CAT का VARC exam is like an open book test, right? Now why it is an open book test? Because जो भी आपको answer VARC के अंदर करना है, every information is available right in front of you. Okay, so we'll see how and why I'm calling it as an open book test, right? So अगर हम basic की बात करें, so CAT के अंदर VARC section is generally the first section of your paper. उसके बाद में you get into DILR and then quant, right? So they give you 24 questions, okay, and these 24 questions you need to solve in 40 minutes. Okay, now these 24 questions is a mix of MCQs and TETA. Now TETA is basically type in the answer. Okay, so in case if you are very new to this CAT and nahi pata what is this, so this is TETA. It stands for type in the answer, where there are no options given to you, but the space is given to you and you need to type in your answer. Since it's a TETA question, so there will be no negative marking for it. And in the CAT VARC section, generally two topics comes under the TETA format. One is your para jumbles and another is your odd one out. Okay, so apart from these two topics, and these two topics are a verbal ability topic. So इसके अलावा जो भी CAT में आता है, RC आता है, आपका para summary आता है, para completion और sentence placement, whatever the name you want to call it. So all of them carries in MCQs होता है, उसके अंदर options होते हैं. So उसमें negative marking होती है, but कुछ questions ऐसे आते हैं, approximately 3 and 4 questions, that will be TETA questions. Okay, so I think so that you guys are clear with it, right? So 24 questions in 40 minutes. Okay, now can you take a rough guess about, like, in case if I want to get into 99 percentile in CAT VARC section, so how many questions I need to attempt? Now for the beginners, I believe that they would say all 24, right? Okay, but no, it's not the case. Okay, so that's the case. That's the beauty of the CAT, and this is how they actually check your aptitude for management. Okay, that are you able to strategize your paper or not. So in case if you're able to solve, let's say 50-16 questions with a decent accuracy of approximately 85% of 80 to 85% of accuracy, you'll be getting into the 99 plus percentile scores. Okay, so that is the case. So this is how you can see. And अगर आप half of the paper भी अच्छी accuracy से कर लेते हो, let's say approximately 12 questions, you will be among the 95 percentile of the students, right? So that is the case. So it is a game of strategy. It's an open book test. Okay, VARC के अंदर I've even heard from the students कि हमें कुछ करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है ना, वो तो unseen passage है, so हमने तो उसको कभी देखा ही नहीं होगा, so we'll going to like solve it on our D-Day only, but that is how not the things work. Okay, no doubt it is accepted that it is an unseen passage. Okay, but still it needs a lot of strategy, which questions to be picked up, which questions to be left, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's see the whatever we have in the stock. Okay, so this is how this is our VARC preparation philosophy. Okay, how we go in quantifiers about the VARC section. So generally our entire syllabus of the VARC section is divided into various modules. Okay, so we call the very first module as a reading habit. See, the name itself says reading comprehension. So the very first and the most important aspect of my paper is reading. Okay, and in case if I'm going to talk about the numbers also and the facts also, so out of the 24 questions, okay, I get 16 questions directly from a topic which is reading comprehension. Okay, so that means that majority of जो भी questions आते हैं मेरे paper में VARC section के अंदर, that revolves around the reading comprehension. And not even this, अगर मैं verbal ability की बात करूँ, so verbal ability में let's say what are the topics that we have. So we have para jumbles, we have para summary, we have odd one out, we have para completion. Okay, so one thing that is common among all the verbal ability topics is also your paragraph. Okay, so paragraph को jumble करना है, paragraph को summarize करना है, पैराग्राफ में से ऑड वन आउट निकालना है, पैराग्राफ को कंप्लीट करना है. ओके, सो दैट इज नो. आरसी में भी क्या होता है, देयर आर द पैसेजेस. ओके, पैसेज बनता किससे है, passage is a combination of a different paragraphs, no? Okay, so when I'm working for my reading comprehension, ultimately I'm also working for my verbal ability, right? So that is the case, it is connected. So I'm not able to digest this fact when the students are saying कि हमारे RC में scores आ रहे हैं but verbal ability में नहीं आ रहे, verbal ability में आ रहे हैं but RC में नहीं आ रहे, possible नहीं है ना. Okay, so paragraph is just a one part of the passage. Okay, passage समझ में आ रहा है, that means paragraph समझ में आ रहा है, paragraph समझ में आ रहे हैं, so collective paragraph makes you understand the passage, right? So that is the case. So this is what we believed in quantifiers, that the very foundation of VARC section actually starts with building a strong reading habit. Okay, so there are a lot of the things that we do for building a strong reading habit, and by reading we don't want to see that whether you are able to read it speedily or in a very speed manner. That's not, we're not there for the fast reading. Okay, so what is important is that are we reading it mindfully, are we reading it with a purpose, are we reading with an intent? Okay, this is how we believe. So the very first module that we cover in our syllabus is building upon the reading. I'm going to speak about this in volumes in the coming slides. The next module is our RC comprehension and inference. Now, in case if you get a chance to see the past year papers of CAT, okay, so reading comprehension I've already told you in terms of the numbers also, it rules the roost, right? But again, one of the most important aspect of my reading comprehension is the topic on inference. Okay, so all these questions, all of the following are true except, okay, which of the following will the author will going to agree with, okay, which of the following must be true. So all inferential based questions, and in fact I would say here that reading comprehension plus critical reasoning. Okay, so it's an important topic of critical reasoning. This is we cover in our module number 2, where we get into the integrities of reading comprehension. We understand the type of passages, we understand the type of questions, we understand the option traps, we understand critical reasoning questions and how they are actually blended in reading comprehension. Okay, The third module is a verbal logic mastery, where we actually get into the verbal ability components. So we discuss the concept of para jumbles, we do the practice exercises for 2-3 classes, we discuss para summary, again the practice classes, discuss the concept and then practice classes. So this is how we actually master the verbal ability part of the CAT exam, okay. Next, and of course the most important element is a mock based strategy, okay. So whatever, so it's like no maths mein to maine koi formula kara, let's say 2 plus 2 is to 4, okay, and then I applied it and I got the answer, okay. The problem with the VARC section is that my answers I cannot get a surety, okay. So now to get the feel that whatever I have learned in the classes, okay, yeah, whatever the things that I have learned or I have practiced so far, okay, am I able to apply those things in the paper and am I able to strategize my paper? This is where your mock analysis come into the picture, okay. So in case if we start by the month of January, what we try to do is that by the month of June and something, we try to finish our syllabus so that we got a considerable amount of time, especially in the VARC section, where we can actually get into sectional test analysis, we can get into full length mock analysis. So this is where your mock base, and it's not just the analysis, okay, we learn from every mock that we give, okay. So it's not that मैंने देखा, see अब मैं whatever the generally what is the mindset of the student is that once they have given the mock in something, answer गलत हो गया, हम क्या करते हैं पीछे से उसका solution या explanations देखने लग जाते हैं, right? This is how the thing should not be built, okay. So this is where I believe that maths में अगर आपका कोई question गलत होता है, I'm sure that आप उसका solution नहीं देखते. What you do is the brainstorming, okay. And similarly sort of the brainstorming is required when you're going to speak about the VARC section, okay. So back ka answer, ye explanation will going to give you the correct answer, okay, but it will not going to tell you where you went wrong, right? So to understand that where you went wrong, we get into this mock based strategy where we analyze the mock, where we reattempt the question again, we get confused between the two options, and then when we figure out why this option is correct and why this option is not correct, okay. Last but not the least, the most important topic is the vocabulary building, okay. Now why I'm calling it most important topic over the reading comprehension is that because it is the foundation of English language, okay. No doubt CAT के अंदर direct vocabulary check नहीं होती जैसे OMATS exam में check होती है, okay. So they won't ask you prejudice का meaning क्या होता है, preemptive का meaning क्या होता है, parsimonious क्या होता है, cajoling क्या होता है. They won't ask you this, okay. But then again, I would say a good vocabulary or a strong vocabulary is a foundation of your good reading comprehension, okay. So we don't leave, and I mean like again I believe that vocabulary is something which has to be built every single day, okay. It is not like that कि अब मेरा CAT का preparation खत्म हो गया है, I am left with OMATS, अब एक week बाद में OMATS है तो अब मैं vocabulary को याद करना लगूंगी. No, it's not possible, okay. This should be something that should be the constant companion of your classes, okay. I mean like throughout your preparation journey, okay, and not throughout, I would say it should be a lifelong activity, okay. So good vocabulary acts as a twin-edged sword where it enhances your communication skills also, it enhances your writing skills also, and it builds in you the confidence when it comes to the comprehension. So दो चीजें हमारी हर class, so in case if we talk about कि हमारी class is divided into 2 hours, okay, I mean like it's spread across the 2 hours span, right? So every half an hour what we do is the discussion on the reading and vocabulary, which is actually non-negotiable, okay. So उसमें कोई compromise ही नहीं, because reading is the essence, that's the foundation, and vocabulary is again something that has to be done on every single day, okay. So I don't pressurize the students you should learn 30 words or something. What we try to do is that we break this 30 words in a span of a 1 week, okay. So 5 words in a day thoroughly, okay, and then using those words in our communication language, this is how we build the word list foundation, we build the vocabulary foundation. So word list, your root words, your association methods, mnemonic techniques, we explore this particular topic of vocabulary through our various angles, okay. So I hope you're clear with this module part, and this is how we cover the comprehensive syllabus of our CAT VARC section, okay. So yeah, this is our VARC sources. So what is available to you? So once you get enrolled and you see, so what all things that we offer. So apart from the live lectures, okay, and live classes and detailed recorded lectures, okay. So we give you 180 plus CAT VA sectionals, and I believe that is the most comprehensive any institute is offering, okay. So, and not just the VA sectionals, we are there available 24/7 for the doubt solving also. So it's not like that कि हमने VA sections दे दिए आपको, solutions है, explanation है, done, okay. You believe that you're not satisfied even after looking at the explanation, then there is a VA doubts group where you can actually put your doubts and we'll be there to help you solve that particular doubt, okay, as soon as possible. We try to focus on that also. So apart from getting the CAT VA sectionals, okay, there will be 30 plus full length mocks that will be available. So VA sectionals, because most probably I'm telling you that we're going to finish the syllabus by the month of June, so that means that we left with July, August, September, October and November, okay. So we need something, no, to practice, okay. So apart from this, there will be full length mocks also where you're going to get the first hand experience of how CAT paper actually looks like, okay. And apart from these, whatever the lectures that will be going to take in our live classes, they will be available to you in the recorded format also. So let's say by chance, in case if you're not able to attend the class that time, or maybe you want to revise that particular concept class sometime later, so it's not like that it will be open for a short period of a time or something. It will be available in your portal throughout your CAT preparation journey. So whenever you want to access that, so you'll be able to clear your doubts, okay. Apart from this, we're going to give you the books, okay. So books that are being given to you from the this VARC section. So there will be a one book on reading comprehension. So it has got approximately 7 to 8 exercises, with each exercises comprising of approximately 30 RCs divided into various levels, okay. So the very first 2 chapters are the basic RCs, okay, some sort of the RCs that you can see in your OMATS paper like SNAP and other, but this is to instill in you the confidence, because in case if I'm gonna give you right straight away the CAT RC, so maybe sometimes you feel demotivated, okay. So we go step by step. That is what I said initially also, that we keep every aspect of the students into consideration. So books is there. So RC book where the chapters are divided into basic to moderate to advanced level. So advanced and moderate is an actual CAT level, okay. So in terms of the difficulty, so there will be one book that is related to the reading comprehension that will be given to you. The another book is a verbal ability book, which will going to comprise 100 questions from each of the topic. So 100 questions on para jumbles, 100 on para summary, 100 on odd one out, 100 on para completion, 100 questions related to critical reasoning. And critical reasoning also we divide into various aspects, like आपको critical reasoning का conclusion का practice करना है. So there is a dedicated exercise that will going to give you questions only related to conclusion. आपको strengthening weakening करना है, so strengthening and weakening की एक exercise. Inference practice करना है, so 25-50 questions right away from inference. So this is how critical reasoning, and then we are going to see RC के अंदर all those critical reasoning blended questions, okay. Apart from this, there will be another book that is given to you is related to vocabulary, okay, and the last book that we give is an OMAT. So this is how the comprehensive. So got enough chapter wise test also, okay. So chapter wise, let's say कि आज हमने para jumbles करा है और मुझे घर पे जाके para jumbles practice करना है. So I cannot get directly into sectionals या full length mocks में से मैं para jumbles को select नहीं करूँगी. So what I have is a chapter wise dedicated resources for me in terms of the book. So the books are available both in a soft copy and a hard copy format. So whichever way you guys are comfortable, you can ask from us, right? So this is how the material and the resources that is available to you, right? Percentile I've already spoken about. Now let's get into this particular foundation, the very first module of our syllabus, that is reading, okay. See, reading is a boring thing, okay. I accept this, and a lot of students now coming from this digital age where we are not much into the reading, short reading, okay. So we like those kinds of small tweets and small readings, okay. So we prefer that, right? So this is where we need to actually break the shackles and we need to get into the reading, okay. So for this, the quantifiers believe in daily guided reading routine, okay. Now in case if I'm just gonna give you कि यार ये इतने articles मैंने अपलोड कर दिया, पढ़ लो, ओके. देयर इज नो चेक ऑन इट ना कि मैं कर रहा हूँ, मुझे समझ आ रहा है, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. दैट इज वेयर वी गेट इनटू दिस डेली गाइडेड, ओके. सो फॉर रीडिंग पर्पस, ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम हाफ एन आवर जो आपकी क्लास रहेगी जिसमें हम रीडिंग के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे, विल गोइंग टू डिस्कस द डिफरेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज फ्रॉम डिफरेंट जॉनरास. सो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, राइट. Now CAT is exam, okay, which is open for all the field. Okay, so a doctor can give a CAT exam, right? An architecture can also give CAT exam, a BCom fresher can also give CAT exam, an engineer can also give CAT exam. Okay, so जब भी CAT वाले जब भी passages pick up करते हैं, they don't pick it up from your comfortable area. Okay, you can be lucky in case if you get it from your own comfortable area, but which is generally not the case with the CAT. Okay, so sometimes अगर हम अभी देखें, so we got a passage in our CAT 2025 from natural sciences से आया है, social sciences से आया हुआ है, हमारे पास passage business से passage आया हुआ है. Okay, so we should be comfortable reading every aspect of it. Okay, art, music, culture, anthropology, natural sciences, biology, botany, philosophy, psychology, business. Okay, your international news. Okay, so all these politics से related, energy से related, environment से related, animals से related, birds से related, spectacular views से related, CAT में कुछ भी आ सकता है. Okay, so the one thing that we need to build and develop is in comfortable aspect. Okay, that is comfortable aspect कि मेरे सामने कुछ भी आ जाएगा, I'll be in a very comfortable position to read it. Okay, and that is what I say, CAT is an open book exam. Okay, कहीं से भी कुछ भी आ सकता है, लेकिन जो answers मुझे जो mark करने हैं, that will be there in the passages that is given to me only. Okay, so what we build in the quantifiers is your diversify reading. Okay, not just diversify reading, we actually instill in you the confidence also. Okay, for example, let's say we are reading on philosophy. Okay, so CAT के अंदर direct philosophy नहीं आती, but the philosophy is embedded in different forms. तो उन्होंने art का कोई passage दे दिया तो उसमें philosophy mingle है. Okay, कुछ psychology से दे दिया तो there is the philosophy embedded in that, right? So what we try to do is that we pick every genre. Let's say we picked up the philosophy. Okay, so what we try to do is that कि class में अब 1 month जो discussion चलने वाला है, that will be in the form of the philosophical passages. Okay, so philosophical passages में we make you read those passages and then we make you pick up the terms to be remembered. Okay, for example, आप अगर philosophy के हो तो आपको metaphysics पता होना चाहिए. Okay, आपको you should know the concept of a dualism for that matter, right? So we make you understand those terms कि नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर कुछ सोक्रेट्स की थ्योरी या फिर कांट की कुछ थ्योरी आती है, सो दैट यू आर इन अ कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन, यू हैव ऑलरेडी रेड अबाउट इट. ओके, आपको पता है कि मेटाफिजिक्स क्या होता है उसके अंदर. ओके, सो व्हेनेवर यू सी दिस टर्म अगेन इन द अनदर सॉर्ट ऑफ द पैसेज, यू आर इन अ कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन कि यस आई नो व्हाट इज दिस, इट इज थ्योरी ऑफ एग्जिस्टेंस, रियलिटी क्या है, आई हैव द क्लियर विजन अबाउट इट, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ वी बिल्ड द रीडिंग अक्रॉस द डिफरेंट जॉनरास. ओके, सो लेट्स से अगर इकोनॉमिक्स का पैसेज है, so we tell you कि economics होती क्या है, what is micro, what is macro, okay, what is law of variable proportion, what is law of demand, supply क्या है, elasticity क्या है, monopoly क्या है, oligopoly क्या है. So next time what is balance of trade, what is balance of payment, fiscal deficit क्या होता है, current deficit क्या होता है, budget क्या होता है, what is budget allocation. Okay, so that you are in a comfortable position. And of course it also builds your foundation for interview also ना. So कल को अगर वो मुझसे कुछ इससे related कुछ subject related questions भी पूछते हैं, I'm in a comfortable position, right? So this is how we enhance and build your reading habits. Okay, so reading habits, and to enhance that particular reading habits, apart from the discussions that we're going to have in our class, whenever we're going to have the classes once a week or twice a week, apart from these there will be the articles that will be given to you on a daily basis, and those articles will going to range from a very basic like something from Indian Express ka editorial to Hindu ka editorial to Times of India ka editorial to the essays like Aeon essays, essays from Smithsonian, New York Times, New Yorker, Wall Street Journal. So this is how we try to divide our reading habits. Okay, so initially you're not getting initially motivated कि यार Aeon इतना लंबा passage है. Okay, so we can start with something that is familiar to you, okay, that you like, okay, that you appreciate, and once you're comfortable with it, we try to take you to the upper levels also, the kind of the passages that you can see in the CAT. Okay, so what we try to do is not just to handhold yours, okay, hold your hands throughout your journey in terms of the reading, but we also make you learn those aspects that can actually help you whenever you see the passages from the same genre somewhere else. Okay, so this is how we instill the confidence, we build a consistent reading habit which we say is a non-negotiable. Okay, and what we do is that we give you the essays on every basis, and whenever we are giving you the essays, no, it's not just like that we give you things this TTBR, okay, things to be read. So we just don't give you like that. Okay, what we actually also tell you is that suppose this is the passage. Okay, So this passage is divided into various paragraphs, right? So what we try to do is that we try to give you a short note on कि para 1 क्या बोल रहा है, a short note on para 2 क्या बोल रहा है, short note on para 3, short note on para 4, and then what is the main idea of the passage as a whole, okay? So that when you're reading it, okay, so you can also reconnect with the passage and you can verify कि जो मेरी understanding है और जो author ने लिखा है इज इट सेम और नॉट, ओके? यार मैं कहीं डाइवर्ट तो नहीं हो रहा, बिकॉज अगर मैंने आपको रीडिंग के लिए दे दिया तो यूल बी लाइक अच्छा पढ़ लिया ना यार, ओके? बट हाउ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज बीइंग चेक्ड, ओके? सो योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज बीइंग चेक्ड बाय द शॉर्ट नोट्स दैट वी गिव along with every passages that we upload, okay? Sometimes you also give the audio and the video solutions also, and in case agar fir bhi things are not clear, then of course I already spoke about our doubts group where you can always ping us that I'm not able to understand it, can you do this particular passage in the class, or can you just help me understand this, okay? कोई word में problem है, कोई आपको terminology नहीं समझ में आ रही है, this is where we build the strong foundation for our reading, okay? And apart from this, yeah, daily RC practice will be there, post sessions, so this is, and we take you through a diversified article selection, okay, across different genres and across different difficulty levels, because we are not sure कि cat में क्या आएगा, okay? So easy, moderate, difficult, we take you through all the aspects from all the different genres, okay? Apart from this, yeah, we get into reading comprehension, okay? So once we believe कि अब हो गया है, so we spend approximately 2 to 3 classes building this note making technique, reading for a purpose, mindful reading, pause strategies when you're reading. So once we have worked on this, and I get this thing कि अब students को थोड़ा बहुत reading का aspect समझ में आ रहा है, and when it comes to the reading, no, we just don't give you something that is narrative or descriptive, okay? We give you the type of the passage which are more of argumentative, where the author is getting involved, where he's speaking and giving his opinion, okay, to those kind of the passages which are very analytical in nature. So argumentative and analytical are the major focus of our reading practice, okay? So apart from this, once we believe that you guys are comfortable with reading, we shift to the major aspect and the major component of our CAT VRC section, which is reading comprehension, okay? Reading comprehension, again, we assume that you just have the knowledge of the unseen passages the way that how you have been doing it in your schools and colleges, okay? We assume that, okay? We don't expect too much of it. We just want to deliver it, okay? We just want to guide you and mentor you, okay? Along with, I mean, like, so that you grow with the things that you are picking it up, right? So RCs, how do we go about is that, so once we have built the foundation for the reading, the next step that what we do is that we understand the different question types, okay? Now the question types will be divided into 3-4 categories, okay? So there will be a global questions or a big picture questions, okay? Then we keep it into a specific detailed questions, that too open-ended and a close-ended, and then we get into critical reasoning, okay? And we just don't like to rush with our syllabus, okay? So since the critical reasoning has got a lot of other elements with it, okay? So what we do is that in case if we are keeping one class on assumptions, okay, so we'll just discuss assumptions only that day, okay? We learned it through a playful example. I mean, like, I tell you that a wife tells to the husband that I want to see a movie, okay? But husband says that I have only 100 rupees, okay? So wife says, okay, we are not going for a movie, right? So this is how we build the concept of assumption. So now you can think and tell me what is the assumption in the chat box, right? So yeah, so this is how, so critical reasoning, we divide it into, I mean, like, every single topic into 2-3 classes depending upon what are your requirements. Are you able to understand or not, okay? So critical reasoning, we divide it into assumptions. पहले तो हम basics ही करते हैं, okay? So basics, okay, let me just drag it. So basics, then we keep one class on assumptions, we keep on strengthening and weakening, we get into inference, we get into miscellaneous questions where we discuss clarification questions, author purpose question, analogical based questions, okay? So this is how we get into reading comprehension, and then we keep 2-3 classes on your option traps where we discuss question setter किस तरीके के options trap करता है. For example, side trap, something that is true as per the passage but it is not giving the answer to the question that is being asked. So we pick up actual CAT passages. So whatever we're going to do in terms of building the concept, we do it through actual CAT passages. ओके सो आई डोंट वांट टू शो यू समथिंग दैट इज यू गाइज आर कंफर्टेबल, यार ये तो ईजी है. ओके फिर हम जब मॉक करने जाते हैं फिर देन वी गेट ये क्या हो गया यार, क्लास में तो कुछ और किया था, यहाँ पे कुछ और आ गया. सो वी डोंट डू दैट. ओके वी टेक यू थ्रू एन एक्चुअल कैट जर्नी. वी सॉल्व ईच ऑफ द पैसेजेस, दैट इज योर एक्चुअल कैट पेपर्स. In fact, I incorporate your 2025 passages also in our concept building classes so that you can get a first-hand exposure of what is coming in a CAT. So, for example, हम inference करेंगे. So, I try to pick up the latest passages जो CAT में आए हैं and then we solve that particular passage in this particular question type. So, this is how we can see the actual CAT paper also getting solved along with our concepts getting cleared. Okay. So, this is how we take you through this and option traps. And once we are done with our reading comprehension, okay, we are done with the reading module and we are done with the reading comprehension module. The next step after, so हमने बोला था कि हम half an hour class में reading और vocabulary का discuss करते हैं. So after once we have done with both these modules, I increase these time to 45 minutes, from 30 to 45 minutes, and every class that we will be doing, once we have done with the reading and a reading comprehension module, we will be solving actual CAT passages. Okay, so that will be a constant companion throughout your preparation journey. Okay, so with this note, let's actually get into the next topic, which is your verbal ability, right? So verbal ability, I already spoken about it. See, अगर हम जब reading module पे already काम कर रहे हैं, so that means that हमारा half of the task for the verbal ability is already itself achieved. Okay. See, again, everything depends upon your understanding. Okay. अगर हम verbal ability के section पे भी बात करें, so it also revolves upon understanding of the paragraph, no? Right? So understanding of paragraph. अगर मुझे पैराग्राफ समझ में आएगा तो आई कैन, अगर वो जंबल भी है दैट मोहन इज एन इंटेलिजेंट स्टूडेंट, ही इज माई फेवरेट स्टूडेंट बट ही नीड्स टू वर्क ऑन हिज इंटरपर्सनल स्किल, आई एम एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दीज सेंटेंसेज. ओके सो दैट मीन्स दैट आई कैन एक्चुअली गिव देम अ कोहेरेंट शेप ऑल्सो. ओके आई कैन एक्चुअली रीअरेंज देम इन सच अ मैनर सो दैट इट लुक्स लाइक मोर कोहेरेंट, राइट? सो अगेन इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सिमिलरली पैरासमरी, पैराग्राफ दिया हुआ है ना, उसमें से आपको इस ऑप्शन को पिक करना है दैट एक्चुअली कैप्चर्स द एसेंस ऑफ द पैसेज. ओके how are you going to pick up that option that will going to capture the essence of the passage? That will be done only when I am able to understand the paragraph ना. अगर पैराग्राफ ही नहीं समझ में आता तो मैं उसको समराइज कैसे करूंगी? Similarly, your odd one out, there will be couple of 5 sentences that will be given to you, out of which you need to pick up that sentence which is an odd one out, right? अगर नहीं समझ में आएगा तो मुझे क्या पता है कि शेक्सपियर वाला सेंटेंस ऑड वन आउट होगा या टैगोर वाला क्या होगा. नाउ आई हैव गिवन यू वेरी इजी हिंट, पेपर में इतना इजी नहीं आता. Sentence placement is that they give you the sentence initially and then they give you the paragraph, okay, and then there are multiple blanks. तो फिर आपसे पूछते हैं कि ये जो sentence हमने दिया है ना, इसको हम कहाँ पे place कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? So again it depends upon paragraph, right? Paragraph समझ आएगा, sentence जो सामने लिखा है वो समझ में आएगा, तभी तो मैं बता पाऊंगी या उसके आगे और पीछे की लाइन में समझ पाऊंगी. Then only I'll be able to tell कि ये sentence यहाँ पे fit होगा, okay? So again, when we have done with the reading, okay, and when we are doing the reading on our everyday basis in our classes, or maybe something as an home assignments that will be given to you in terms of the TTBR or the other sources, okay, so I'm building upon my understanding now. So मेरा verbal ability का once I started getting that understanding of the passages, my half task is already done for the verbal ability, okay. अब जो मुझे करना है that is to interpret the options, that is to learn some specific rules and some specific ways of solving them, okay, that we will build up in our verbal ability module, okay. So I hope you're getting, so it's all interrelated and that's what I'm telling कि आरसी अच्छा है तो ये होना चाहिए अच्छा, right? So let's see this particular thing what we have offered. So parajumbles, okay. Now generally what we've seen is that कि parajumbles में जो बच्चे करते हैं they plug in, मतलब A B C D बना के देख लिया B C A D, that's not possible, okay. There is a certain way and in fact I would say that apart from the vocabulary, कैट के अंदर अगर कुछ ऐसा टॉपिक है जहाँ पे आपको थोड़ी बहुत, जस्ट थोड़ी बहुत, ओके, आई मीन लाइक देयर इज नो हार्ड एंड फास्ट की इसमें आपको करना पड़ेगा. We need to work, okay, so on the parajumble sentence arrangement, okay, so apart from the vocabulary, this is the one topic where I would say that you need to learn certain ideas and the certain rules. Now what is a framework that we work on your sentence rearrangement is a STOP AC framework. Now STOP AC is just an acronym for you to understand the rules, okay. So what we try to build is that once we have the understanding of the sentences, okay, what we try next to do is to logically sequence the ideas, okay. And the very first format thing that what we work upon is to understand what is the subject in a theme, okay, कि सारे sentences बात किसकी कर रहे हैं, बात किस बारे में कर रहे हैं, okay. And once we have figured it out, the next thing what we worked upon is to build up the opening sentence, कि सारे sentences में से opening sentence क्या होगा, okay. So we do a lot of questions where we just try and figure out कि what is the opening sentence, okay. Now why it is important is that, see, parajumbles is a gray area, okay. Now why it is a gray area, and it actually reoccur in your paper in the year 2025. 2024 में it was a missed part, okay. But 2025 में आ गए, so that means 2026 के लिए important topic है, okay. Now what happened here is that suppose you get 4 sentences. So what is the maximum possibilities that you can arrange the 4 sentences? So that's approximately 4 factorial, okay. So that is the case. So 24 ways, उसमें से मेरा correct answer क्या है? 1, okay. So the probability of the correct answer is very low when it comes to the para jumbles, and when, because this is a theta question ना, okay. So negative marking नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी options से limited है. Now what happens? What is the beauty of figuring out the opening sentence, okay? Now that you figured out कि मेरा ये sentence, let's say D वाला sentence मेरा first sentence है, that means now that what you need to do is that you need to just arrange the remaining 3 sentences, and now the probability of the correct sequence reduces to 6 out of, I mean like 1 out of 6, okay. That is approximately close to your questions with options, okay. So this is how we strategize your para jumbles, okay. We make you learn the rules, okay, because yes, this is the topic, the rules that we're going to learn here in the para jumbles will going to actually help you for the topic related to odd one out. So I say that the odd one out and a sentence placement is a close cousin to para jumbles, okay. So whatever noun, pronoun, okay, your thought extender, your thought reversals, your abbreviation and full form, full name and short name, okay, keyword links, okay. So all these now similar sounding words or something, okay, same ideas, bucket method. So this is how what we do in the case of the para jumbles, okay. So we work on transitional words, connectors, and we help you make them pairs or a block, okay. We try to put them in a bucket, and then we try to frame this, okay, different possibilities that we can take you through. So we do this, okay. And I believe that what is important apart from the concept, so concept is very important, okay, what is most important is the practice, okay. And so once we have done with the concept on the para jumbles, we do 2 through 3 classes solving all the actual level CAT para jumbles, okay. So there we learn, okay, कि question setter किस तरीके से होता है. Now in the case of the para jumbles, no, there will be a good question setter and there will be a bad question setter, okay. My good also looks like bad, but nonetheless, right. So हमें पता होना चाहिए कि ये हमारा doable question है या this is to be a skip question. So right from the very first day of our concept class, we try to build the strategies also that actually help you in a long run when you're actually giving the sectional test or the full length mocks, okay. So we build that particular mindset कि हमें ये question करना चाहिए या हमें ये question skip करना चाहिए, okay. So this is how what we do, and we keep a check on a time also. So initially even in the case of the reading comprehension, okay, so we don't generally start the class with a strict timing कि हमें 8 minutes में एक RC passage करना है. We generally start with the 15 minutes कि 15 minutes से करते हैं, then we reduce it to 12 minutes per passage, then we reduce to 10 minutes per passage, and then we reduce to 8-9 minutes per passage as per the comfort, okay. So strategy right from the beginning of our concept classes so that we can actually put that particular strategy also when we are actually giving the full length test, okay. That goes for the para jumbles also कि इस question पे time लगाना भी चाहिए या जो भी आ रहा है, since it's a theta question, no negative marking, I'll just type in the answer and I'll save my time and I'll move ahead to the next question, okay. So apart from this, I've already told you that there will be a lot of content that will be given, okay. So 100 questions, so 4 exercises, 25 questions each, and once you've done with all these, we're going to give you the worksheets on para jumbles where there will be the questions only on the basis of the para jumbles only, right. Now the next what we have is para summary, okay. Now what do we believe in the para summary questions is that again what is most important for the para summary is to understand the essence of the passage, okay. आपका सबसे important para summary का role होता है to figure out the main idea, okay. And main idea is what we try to do when we do the classes on reading, okay. जब हम reading करते हैं, I told you ना कि for every para paragraph we give you the idea, and after every paragraph we give you the main idea of the passage as a whole, okay? And for every paragraph we give you the main idea. So main idea is something that we have been practicing right from our module 1, okay? And those practice and those learnings that we're going to have will going to actually help us in this our topic of para summary, okay? So now there is a way to do the para summary, okay? Now the way to do the para summary is not by picking up the right options, okay? This topic is actually done with an option elimination strategy, okay? So this is what we learn when we actually get into the classes, okay? Otherwise हमें ये लगेगा अच्छा पैराग्राफ दिया हुआ है हमें summary करनी है. No, it is not summary. In case if you read the instruction, it says that you need to pick up that option that captures the essence of the passage, not just the summary, okay? So this is how we believe we work on extracting the code, that is actually the main idea. So we keep 2-3 classes initially when we are doing the reading thing and other to figure out the main idea. So वो foundation जो तब build होगा, that will going to help you in our topic of para summary also, okay? And yes, of course, then there will be CAT level sets, okay, with increasing complexity, and the faculty led discussions for every question will going to discuss. I like to ask the student कि आपने, rather than telling them that this is the correct answer, so what we do is that we actually ask the students to brainstorm कि चलो आपने ये pick करा है, तो why do you believe कि ये correct answer है, okay? आपको ये correct क्यों नहीं लगा? So this is how we clear the concepts with the discussion, okay? Now let's see the couple of more last 2 topics, okay? So the odd one out again. So I told you that the rules that you're going to learn for the para jumbles will going to help you for the rules on odd one out also, okay? So what we try to do is that we train the students to see the logic gaps, okay? Not just कि sentence differences क्या है, okay? आपको ये नहीं है ना कि इसमें यार शेक्सपियर है इसमें टैगोर है, ये odd one out हो गया, okay? That is one way of doing it, okay? But what we need to figure it out is कि वो बोल क्या रहा है, what is the theme, okay? So what we try to do here is that we follow the bucket method कि ये सारे sentences similar theme की बात करें. Now I'm left with the 2 sentences which is now most closely connected to it, okay? Maybe with the help of the para jumbles rules that we have learned, maybe with the understanding of the theme, okay? So this is how we believe in a theme first approach, okay? We don't believe in figuring out different sentences. What are the different sentences, okay? I'm sure that in your paper you're going to get the question which will going to have apple farming in almost all of them, okay? But what is being stated about the apple farming, okay, in the majority of the sentences, and one sentence maybe will not going to be related to that theme, so that has to be your odd one out, okay? Then we do the CAT level practice, faculty analysis, and your accuracy training, okay? Again, strategizing this, whether to attempt, whether to skip, okay? What are the different ways that the question setter can set an odd one out, change in a subject, change in a theme, change in a tone, okay? Opposite idea, so all those sort of the concepts we try to build up, okay? The last topic for the case of the CAT is your sentence placement. This is comparatively a new topic, okay? Now the case here with this sentence placement is that generally what is being suggested is that you look for the keywords, okay? आपको यहाँ पे भी brain दिख रहा है, आपको इधर भी brain दिख रहा है, ये दोनों साथ में आ जाएंगे. No, this is just one shortcut of doing it, okay? So what we train students is actually to follow the flow, okay? To understand कि preceding sentence क्या है, following sentence क्या है, actual sentence का purpose क्या है. We start with the sentence, okay? Now जनरली का स्टूडेंट्स को ये कंफ्यूजन होता है कि हमें पहले सेंटेंस पढ़ना चाहिए फिर पैसेज पढ़ना चाहिए, या हमें पहले पैसेज पढ़ना चाहिए फिर सेंटेंस पढ़ना चाहिए. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली द करेक्ट स्ट्रैटेजी, ओके? सो वी स्टार्ट राइट फ्रॉम अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ द सेंटेंस, ओके? इज इट टेलिंग मी सम सॉर्ट ऑफ द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, ओके? Is it giving me the cause of something? Is it giving me a remedial measure? Okay, it is giving a contrast opinion. So we try to build the foundation only right at the first one where we understand कि ये sentence है क्या, okay? And then we understand the passage on the basis of the logical continuity, flow of ideas, reference tracking, okay? So this is how this particular topic is built, and then again we identify sentence role, okay? What we work is on a context over the keywords, because keywords may work for some question but not for every question, right? We track references and then practice those things that we have learned, okay? So this is how we try to cover, and for everything there will be an immense material that will be given to you in form of the books, in form of the worksheets, in form of the sectional test, and in form of the full length mocks, okay? Apart from this, the last thing that what we believe is the most important is your error log. Okay, now generally verbal एक ऐसा section है जिसमें almost आपका हर आंसर is a gut fee. Okay, now it's not a gut fee अक्कर बक्कर बॉम्बे वाला gut fee नहीं है. Okay, it's a gut fee that is being backed by your understanding, okay, backed by the amount of the practice that you put in, and this is where your error log comes into the picture. Okay, now what is this error log is that we are students that every time whenever once they have understood the concept and once they have practiced enough, okay, then what they should do is that they should maintain the error log. Okay, now what I believe that sets the top performers apart from the average student is that they actually analyze where they went wrong. Okay, now generally हमारा क्या होता है, हम मॉक्स देते रहते हैं, सेक्शनल टेस्ट देते रहते हैं, हमें यही नहीं समझ में आ रहा है हमसे गलती कहाँ हो रही है. We keep on repeating the same mistake. Okay, so once we have done with, I mean like para jumbles का concept हुआ, para summary का हुआ, reading comprehension का हुआ, I try to students to make this error log and to write down on that piece of register paper, right, कि आप बताओ कि आपकी जनरली गलती क्या हो रही है. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं हमेशा कंफ्यूज हो रहा हूँ कि आई गो कि यार ये तो लिखा है ना पैसेज में और यही ऑप्शन में लिखा है, बट मैं हमेशा ये चीज भूल जाती हूँ कि व्हाट इज माय क्वेश्चन आस्किंग. ओके, सो अच्छा वहां पे लिखा है द सन राइजेस इन द ईस्ट, बट क्या मेरा क्वेश्चन ये पूछ रहा है कि इन विच डायरेक्शन द सन राइजेस. ओके, सो आई मेक देम राइट देयर मिस्टेक्स topic wise also, then the full length test also, and whenever they are trying to give the next mock, I always say go through those error logs, those mistakes that you have been doing in those topics, and then don't do that again in your next paper. Okay, so this is where your error logs comes into the picture. So document every mistake with the question, your answer and the correct solution and where you went wrong. Okay, and next time whenever you're doing that, right, you are actually going through those errors and you're trying not to make those mistakes. Okay, so this is where कि मैं दे रही हूँ, generally this happens, this is a trend, ये दे दिया, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कहाँ गलत हो रहा है. Okay, यही नहीं समझ में आ रहा पैरा समरी के क्वेश्चन सही हो रहे हैं, ऑड वन आउट के हो रहे हैं. So we do it in a very proper in a structured manner कि write down verbal ability, write down पैरा समरी के 2 क्वेश्चंस करे थे, एक सही था एक गलत था. Okay, and this is happening constantly for 10 marks. Okay, so I know that my accuracy is a 50% accuracy. Okay, और उसमें भी कौन सा क्वेश्चन है, किस टाइप की आपको फीलिंग आती है जब वो हमेशा आपका सही होता है. ओके, सो व्हेनेवर इन योर पेपर यू आर गेटिंग दो सॉर्ट ऑफ द फीलिंग, सो दैट मीन्स कि आपका वो पेपर जब भी इसकी फीलिंग आती थी ये क्वेश्चन आपका सही होता था, तो दैट मीन्स दैट यू शुड एक्चुअली काउंट दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन एज योर अटेम्प्ट. ओके, द अनदर टाइप ऑफ द क्वेश्चन जो हमेशा गलत हो जाता था, अब जनरली स्टूडेंट्स को होता है 2 ऑप्शंस थे, हमेशा वो पिक कर लिया जो गलत होता था, जो सही होता था उसको छोड़ दिया. सो व्हाई? ओके, देयर इज नो क्लोज ऑप्शंस इन योर पेपर. ओके, one is correct and all the other 3 are definitely wrong. Okay, but where you are getting trapped, okay, what is that minute subtle aspect that you're not able to figure out, that is what your error log will going to teach you. Okay, so this is how we cover the CAT VA RC section in the most comprehensive manner and in a very basic. So in case we are even open to the feedback and other aspects, so in case if student believe that there's something else that needs to be incorporated, we are happy to do that also. So it's keep on very flexible approach. It's not it's static or something, it's dynamic, it keeps on changing as per the paper format, as per the requirements, and so on and so forth. Okay, so with this note, let's actually close this session. In case of any queries, you can always connect with us and we'll be more than happy to help you. So happy learning, all the best. Thank you.